It's a great Saturday morning out here at McGrath State Beach. Welcome to our program. We're here just at the edge of Ventura, Oxnard on the Santa Clara River, and one of the most important park units we have in our state, one that's been closed for a long time because of rising water. We now have a huge effort to restore this park, and we're beginning to make this park persist for decades to come. McGrath State Beach is at a real interesting place, both ecologically, geologically, and politically. It's really at the edge of many different things. It's at the edge of political jurisdictions, it's the edge of the land and the sea. It's also at the edge of rising seas and a lot of the current challenges that many of our regions of our state are going to be facing as we go on into the future. What's been going on here, the historic mouth of the Santa Clara River estuary, closes and is always closed at certain times of the year. A sandbar goes over the front. That leads to a more enclosed area, a more lagoonal, a raised water situation. Historically, that's been okay, and then once the water gets to a certain level, that berm breaches, the water goes down. That's a natural part of the system. One of the challenges that's happened in the recent several years has been a changed water pattern. That has partly to do with what we've been doing. It also has to do with our lower rainfall and the drought situation that we're facing right now. What it's meant in summary has been a stronger berm, less water in the lagoon there to break through this berm, and it's meant higher water levels for a much longer time. As far as people using this facility, it's meant that you can't even get in here because where I'm standing, I'd be about waist deep in water. So in addition to all the ecological impacts of that changed system, it's also meant that people can't recreate here. So we're beginning to try to solve that problem. Steps were first taken in 2011, been getting stronger and stronger ever since. Now we've finally been able to lower the water here. We've finally, for the first time in almost 3 years, are going to be able to have hopefully summer camping here and summer recreational use. And that's also the first step towards restoring this entire system. So as we talk to different folks today, we're going to hear about some of the efforts that people have put into, first and foremost, preventing this unit from closing. Secondly, how we're building more community effort and interest around this park. Thirdly, what are we going to do to try to go forward with this? Both forward as a recreational place for the local folks, also how we can possibly use this park, this place, this location as a model for other coastal systems where people are struggling with sea level rise and other challenges. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to what we're talking about today. Hold on. We're going to be right back with a bunch of awesome interviews from a bunch of fantastic folks here at McGrath State Beach. So we have a lot of folks who have been engaged in helping us recover this park, and one of them is our representative, Doss Williams.
Well, it's great to be here. It's great to see the park open. It was threatened with closure back in 2011, but a local effort with help from some of us state officials saved the park. The city of Oxnard, the county of Ventura, some locals, people rallied, and then myself representing the state, we all work together to save the park. It's great to see it open. Yeah. It's great to see it no longer flooded. And it's really inspirational to see so many people out here today working to make sure that the park stays beautiful.
And it seems like this can be an opportunity, you mentioned this before, but an opportunity to both educate folks about climate, in addition to all the great engagement and places to recreate, but it's also a wonderful model to talk about how we might deal effectively, maturely, with climate change in a responsible manner. Would you say
Absolutely. So? This will be one of the, unfortunately, McGrath State Beach will be one of the first places in Ventura County that gets flooded because of rising sea levels. So I think this kind of a treasure is only emblematic of what we'll lose if we don't reduce our energy usage, if we don't move our energy usage towards later at night when it's more coming from wind energy and less from fossil fuels. And if we just don't do our part to reduce driving. I mean, you know, I did a hearing yesterday on the dangers of offshore fracking that's taking place in our local community. And so it's really amazing the dangerous and harmful things that we will do to ourselves to just be able to drive more. And and so we can all do our part to reduce fracking and reduce global warming and sea level rise just by driving a little bit less.
And how is it possible that we can use this particular case as an example? Some people see climate change and they say, oh, it's not a problem. Others see, oh my God, it's the end of the world. We can't do anything, on both sides of the spectrum. So are there discussions, or have you discussed with anyone back up in Sacramento how this might be a case study for how we effectively, maturely go forward, as opposed to, say, the skies are falling or whatever?
It is one of those places where if a certain amount of sea level rise happens, we can deal with it, right? And we're going to try to deal with it by moving a little bit of the park up on higher ground. Of course, if people don't reduce their energy, not even that will help.
Nothing's going to work, right? Sure.
Because it's right here, close to the river mouth, and right on the beach, and of course it will be one of the first places flooded. And I would hate to see places like this disappear. And of course, it's nothing compared to what will happen in Florida, Bangladesh,
Absolutely.
Or the Philippines, where you have whole cities that are at this sea level. So I think obviously we have a lot at stake, but communities across the world have a lot at stake. And as California is the 8th largest economy in the world, we can tremendously affect, for better or for worse, how much of sea level rise there is.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Thanks for all the time and everything.
Thanks so much.
To deal with these issues, such as we have going on here with McGrath State Beach, a lot of times we have local folks involved because they see intimately the problems that are going on. It's much harder to have folks at farther and farther away, larger and larger political entities involved. And it's fantastic that we have folks all the way up to the Sacramento legislature, like Doss Williams, engage with this problem, helping to solve, helping to move forward, and return this park to the place it could be and should be. So behind me, you can see some of the very few campsites that are now open this weekend. We need many more of these places to be open. These guys are on some of the highest ground that we have here currently open in the campground. The idea, again, with the restoration is to have more opportunities like this that are at least at this level or slightly higher, so that, again, we can be out of the floodplain, out of the inundation area, and more people can be like these folks, these lucky guys right here, out of the beach. Why aren't you out here camping at McGrath State Beach? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We've had a fantastic day here at McGrath State Beach. Watched a lot of folks do some fantastic restoration. Heard from a lot of the key players here that are making this park a more vibrant, essential part of our local community for the years going forward. Stay in touch. Stay in touch with the Park Service, stay in touch with our friends groups, with all of our community that are involved here. There's ample opportunities for you guys to get involved. You can also go check out our website at California State University Channel Islands. You can search ESRM, Environmental Science and Resource Management Program. We have all kinds of projects going on here as well to try to help support state parks, support our local resource managers, and give them the information that they need. For anybody interested in this type of stuff, anybody interested in restoring systems, anybody interested in figuring out how we go forward collectively, constructively with problems, come check out our website at California State University Channel Islands. In particular, check out our Environmental Science and Resource Management Program. We train students to solve these problems. My students are now rangers. My students are now part of the organizing groups that bring these folks together. It's a wonderful opportunity. Come to CSUCI. Come check us out. We have an awesome program. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.